Hello again, friends, enemies. Mad Laughter at Laughter Mad here again with your favorite reaction / dumb dude pontificating on comedy after watching super funny people do something that he could never do himself channel called Your Favorite Comedian, Me Not Laughing. Which is ironic since I think I laughed at the last like 7 videos, so... But that's cool, it's all good, I'm not panicking. I'm sure I'll hit a stinker here again sometime soon. I mean, you know, law of averages, right? It's going to get everyone, so... big thanks to all of you who have commented, all of you who have subscribed, all of you who have left me suggestions. This one is going to be an interesting one, methinks. It's try number 2 for Tom Segura for me. It's called 48 Hours, I think, or something along those lines. So here's what we know. First, I've heard the one previous Tom Segura bit, which I wasn't that impressed with, but, you know, it was my first one. Perhaps I need a little bit of time, you know. So this is try number 2, and I'm curious to see what my reaction will be this time. Plus, the bit might just be funnier, right? And number 2, this has to do with that. If this has anything to do with the show The First 48, which I do not know if it is, there's a show on A&E that I watch and I love, even though it's not really a funny show, then I'll probably be predisposed to finding this funny since I'll be able to identify with it. So, but that being said, as we've talked before, just because I can identify with something doesn't mean I should automatically think it's funny, which I think happens a lot of times. People laugh or tell themselves to laugh or that they should laugh just because they are of whatever thing that this person's talking about. Anyways, we could talk about that later, talk about it in the comments. So here's how this video is going to work. Just like all the other ones, we're going to watch the video, we're going to react, I'm going to do it on screen. I'm going to provide my opinion, you'll provide yours in the comments. If you want to talk about it, we'll agree or we'll disagree, we'll talk about and have a healthy discussion. And just basically talk about stuff other than the other terrible things that's going on in the world right now that we don't need to talk about, that we've already talked about today, and we want to talk about something else. So, sound good? All right, cool. So again, Tom Segura, something about 48 hours. It could be about the Eddie Murphy movie. I obviously don't know. So, yeah, Tom Segura, 48 hours. Make me laugh, Tom. Oh, and I don't really know how long this clip is. I think it's like 6 minutes.
God, it's so weird. People ask me, like, I get asked fucking travel advice from strangers. Can we just break down how crazy that is? Like, people come up to me and they're like, hey, you travel a lot, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, where should I go? I don't fucking know you, man. You ask travel advice to people who know you intimately. They know you well. They can guide you based on what they know about you. I mean, you don't ask strangers dining advice, right? Because you're like, hey, where should I eat tonight? I know I've never met you before in my life, but do you think you could give me a recommendation?
People do that.
Yeah, you should try this dim sum place. And then that person might go, oh, I hate the Asian world. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that about you. Yeah, I killed like 4 of them. Like, what are you, like a serial killer or something? Yeah. An awkward conversation with a serial killer.
Okay, that was
Here's
pretty
all
good.
I'm saying. I can't tell you where to go. I can tell you where not to go. Wherever they film The First 48 on A&E. Now, if you're not familiar with the show, here's what it is. Camera crews follow real homicide detectives for the first 48 hours after a murder. The reason that time distinction is so important is that after 48 hours, they give up on that murder. They're like, that's some old shit. What do you want to do today? You're like, how about you keep trying to solve that murder, man? That shit happened on Monday. It's Wednesday. We're not going to solve that shit. Really. There are so many amazing moments on that show. So many. A lot of the episodes take a similar path. I'm blown away, first of all, at how many times there's a witness to a murder. It's crazy. I always thought murders happen in dark alleys. Nobody saw shit. No. Every other episode, they're like, you see that shit? And I was like, I saw that shit, yeah. Where? Right fucking here. Really, I was standing here, and then he killed that dude there. What he looked like? He was like 5'2" to 6'8", something like that. And they're like, that's the fucking description you're gonna give us? Uh-huh. Anything else about him? Yeah, he had ears too. Thanks, man. No problem. They still will sketch that shit out. And they show it to people. Do you know this guy? And everyone's like, nah. But then one guy will be like, yeah! That's Cricket right there! You're like, oh shit. You know him? I've been knowing Cricket 27 years! What's his real name? Man, that's just Cricket. I don't even know. Stop being white and weird. That's a perfect fucking impression, and you know exactly who that was, okay? Yeah, it's a black guy, and he's wearing a wife beater, and he's got on a dirty hat, and he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And he looks like he's about 33, but you find out he's 76 years old. And he speaks super aggressively to the cops. I've been out here for a minute! And they're like, all right, Jesus. When was the last time you saw him? He came through with jellyfish last week. They were looking for some smoke. And they're like, all right, Jesus Christ. They always cut to the whitest detective from that guy, too. They cut from that guy to the guy who's like, I don't think he's going to help us out. We're going to find Cricket on our own. That show has the best moment in television. It's the most dramatic thing you could ever see. It's real life, and that is the interrogation. The interrogation is amazing, because here's the thing about drama. If you want to have a great, dramatic moment, raise the stakes. Guess what? There's no higher stakes than somebody being questioned about taking somebody else's life. It's inherently compelling television. It is also super serious. But the detectives insist on using the suspect's street name, so the whole thing turns into a fucking cartoon. Like, they're literally like, your life is on the line. We need to talk to you. Why don't you have a seat? Little stank, why don't you sit down for a second? Did you or did you not know Dookie shoes? No Dookie shoes. I got a picture of you hanging out with Dookie shoes. I mean, I've seen them. I don't know. And then they'll throw one bit of evidence against the wall, hoping it'll solve the case. They'll be like, well, we were talking to Naamin, and he said that you were at the 7-Eleven last week. And he'll be like, yeah, I shot him in the face. And you're like, God damn, really? That's all it took to break you? Dude, lie. Lie for longer. You can kill somebody, you can't lie for 10 fucking minutes about it? Like, dudes will break on anything. They'll be like, we heard you had on a blue shirt last Friday. Yeah, I stabbed those 4 people. Dude, a lot of people have blue shirts, man. You can still get out of this. Here's what I've learned watching that show, okay? Lawyer up. You can't handle that shit. Everybody's like, I'm gonna talk to the cops and straighten this whole thing out. You're gonna do 25 to life. Have fun with that, man. Nobody asked for a lawyer. I've seen 300 people get interrogated on this show. 2 of them were like, I talked to a lawyer? And both times the detectives were like, fuck! And then at the end of those episodes, it said on the screen, all charges against Tayshaun were dropped. Or Jim, pick a fucking name. Let's be honest, there's no Jims on the show. I've seen every episode. And none start with, hey, Bryce, can we talk to you for a second, man? Where were you last Friday? I was over at Tanner's house. Then Skylar had a party, so we went over there. And then we picked up Connor and we had pancakes. Sorry, bro. The detective, bro.
Well, all right. Tom Segura, 48 Hours. So, what did we find out? We found out that it indeed had to do with the first 48. So, already I was primed to laugh. So, I'm going to say that definitely helped. I'm going to say his set was pretty good. There were some parts that were just okay, as I guess probably in anyone's set, and then there were some parts that were really funny. So I guess we'll start with the familiarity. Like, I knew all about everything he was talking about. That's why the impressions were hilarious, from the people that were caught down to the cops. That's just all. That is exactly what, pretty much everyone does and says. The guys between, he saw the murder, but no one wants to dime anyone out. So it's like, yeah, but he's between 5'2" and 6'8". He had a hat on, so I don't know what kind of like hair he had, and brown eyes. Like, okay, all right. So that was pretty spot on. I actually laughed. The very first thing I laughed at was, the part where he's talking about. He said something about how, in the very first part where he's talking about somewhere to eat, and then he says, I hate the Asian world, which is kind of funny. He's obviously exaggerating about this character, but then, he's talking about how he doesn't know a lot about you, so how could he begin to give you any advice? Great, now I'm talking to a serial killer. I thought that was really funny, because that could happen, right? But, the first 48 thing was funny. I loved all his impressions. I lost it when he was making up the nicknames for people, Lil Stank and Dookie Shoes. I don't know why that was funny. I think that it's just the absurdity of the names, I think, were funny, and just the idea that, yeah, they do use the nicknames a ton in there. They don't, no one ever knows anyone by their real names. I did think that he missed an opportunity on a joke. Now, listen, I don't know anything about comedy writing or anything like that, but there's a part at the end where he's talking about, Tayshaun, and instead of using, and then he's like, well, I could have said Bryce, but let's be honest, no, it never starts with, hey Bryce, we need to talk to you or whatever. Instead of Tayshaun, he should have said, like Little Stank or something like that, to sort of bring it full circle about who they were talking about, if you recall. Overall, listen, I laughed a lot harder on this one and a lot more often for Tom. Now, of the bits, if I'm ranking them right now, I'm going to still say Burr has Tom overall on these bits. And the Joey Diaz one was pretty funny. More unbelievable than funny. But, so yeah, pretty good. Well, tell me what you guys thought. What do you guys think of Tom Segura? Funny to you? Was it a 10 out of 10? Was this one of his best bits? Comment, let me know. I'm curious to hear if there's any more good Tom Segura bits out there. This one was really funny. I've got a backlog of bits that you guys have all sort of listed out for me, so this is really great. I want to do something a little different than Bill Burr. We did a little Tom Segura now, so I think that'll put the Tom Segura fans in a good place. I'm doing some Doug Stanhope, I think, tomorrow. So look out for that video. Again, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, email, but more than anything, comment on the channel if you want to comment. Let me know what kind of things you got going on as far as comedy-wise. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know anything else you want to let me know. So until next time, you guys have a good day, and peace out.